again. Welcome back to Unbound Chapters podcast. I'm Sandra.
I'm Isabel.
Today we're reviewing the next 5 chapters of Quicksilver, chapters 15 to 19. So we're looking at 20 right now. There was a few parts that I enjoyed, like I was fine with, but for the most part I was a bit bored.
I enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah, not me. I mean, I liked when, like, Carrion finally woke up, but, yeah, I wish there was more.
Not as much tension as I was expecting.
Yeah.
There were still some taunting comments and some growls that were well placed, but it wasn't as much tension as I was expecting.
Yeah. We left off, they went to the portal, and she's, like, sick from the portal, apparently. Yeah.
Sounds awful.
But at least it only happens once. And
maybe.
Well, that's what Ren said.
Said that Faye get headaches.
Yeah, but, like, the really awful that she experienced, that it only happens once, even to the Fae. He said, but looks like it happened worse since you're a human, but I'm starting to like Ren a bit more.
I've always liked him.
I mean, I have too, but I started to like him, like, a bit more these past few chapters.
Now that he's more frequent in the chapters.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when he barged in her room, I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, you need to knock. But yeah, so they go through the portal, and she's, like, bedridden, sickly, you know. She finally comes to, and Carrion is awake, and
standing at the foot
like,
of her
what
bed,
a creep.
just watching her.
Yeah.
If I woke up and someone was standing at the foot of my bed, which that has happened before.
And also, it's not your house. You don't know where you're at.
Yeah. That's only happened to me twice, waking up and not knowing where I am. Even though I knew when I went to bed where I was.
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean?
No, it's like on vacation one time a long time ago, and then on our trip this summer.
Yeah, when I had to get out of the bunk bed to answer my phone. Yeah, that was really funny. I mean, it wasn't funny, but looking back on it, I was like, why is your boyfriend calling me? I was like, this does not look good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, yeah, having someone just at the foot of your bed when I wake up. First of all, don't watch me sleep.
That's happened to me before. Just like family members, because if it was someone else, no. But I've had family members, like siblings, and my grandmother, she's crazy. She would do weird stuff.
I feel like my siblings may have I've watched my siblings sleep, but I was messing with them. Like, my brother Cody, like, if he used to go to bed mad early when we were younger, and I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? But anyway, yeah, we would, like, mess with him, like, tickle something, like, on his nose or something like that. But
my sister used to think she could influence my dreams, so she would, like, whisper stuff to me, but I would be awake and I would hear it, and I'd be like, I had the strangest dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's literally there.
Staring at her. She's like, dude, I just woke up.
And I'm also really pissed off at you. Because how are you going to say, you're Hayden, where the hell is he?
Yeah.
You know?
So she grills him about what's been going on since she left. Mm-hmm. He said that nothing's really happened. The city's preparing for a big festival, which, because we know how messed up the queen is, I'm scared to read of what's going to happen at this festival. Yeah. I think it's going to be like mass execution, or it's going to be like
it seems like really
servitude.
Lively, right? It seems lively right now, but
yeah. So I think it's going to be scary for the people. And then she asked him about her brother, and he said, well, I got him out of there into 7, working at a grocery store.
Yeah, I think something like that.
So he's in the 7th level, working at a grocery store. Mm-hmm. And he said he's, like, lonely, and he's sad, and he's still trying to find a way to break her out, but, like, he's doing better than he was doing in 3rd.
Yeah, he also said, like, triple the water ration.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's a big change.
Yeah. And
so he's doing alright.
His name's Elroy, right?
Yeah.
Elroy keeps going to the castle gates every day, demanding to speak with Ceres, but she's not there. So obviously he keeps getting turned away.
Yeah, the queen I don't think the queen, like, wants to
I don't-
let people know that she's
she
gone.
doesn't want to know that some little girl was able to get away from her.
Bested her and her
But, like,
captain.
There's another reason why she's not doing it, and I want to know why.
Yeah, me too.
I also want to know what she's planning with this festival, because I just know something terrible is going to happen.
Yeah.
So he, like, explains everything that's been going on. She was like, "You're so stupid. Why did you say you were Hayden?" And he's like, "Well, you haven't answered any of my questions."
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of gives him, like, a brief, very short explanation about what's going on. And he was like, "Well, why don't you get your boyfriend or whatever?" And he's talking about Kingfisher. And she's like, "He's not my boyfriend."
Mm-hmm.
And they, like, get ready to go, and Kingfisher comes in, and he overhears
the conversation.
Yeah, the conversation that they're having. He was like, what did he say?
I don't remember.
He said something along the lines of, she gave him, like, a rude look, and he was like, that look could kill a man, and I liked it a lot better when you were infatuated with me. And Kingfisher overheard that when he was walking in, and he was like, "Excuse me?"
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, "Well, that's how I was able to find you then, because when you were..."
Well, it doesn't happen in front of Carrion.
Yeah.
See, I told you they were not related. I totally knew it was... Well, I didn't know, like, how long ago that they had, like, togetherness, but...
That's nasty, though. It's still on him months later. Boy needs a bath.
It's not on him. The smell is on him.
Nasty.
Pheromones, he said.
Gross.
So I tried to tell you. I was like, they're not related.
Whatever.
Yeah, so... I'm just happy to say that they're not related.
Yeah. So they tell Carrion to just, like, fend for himself.
Oh, well, before that, I thought it was really funny when Kingfisher was talking about how he was able to find him. He's like, "Well, I didn't need blood. Like, I smelled you on him because, you know, you just left a whole lot, like, in my lab with your little show you did." And she was like, "Shut up." Yeah, so he was like, "Yeah, you just left your scent all over me," which he made it sound, like, worse. Like,
yeah, he was like, "I had your blood, but you also grinded on my lab."
Grinded all over me, and it was just there. I'm like, I don't think your pants were wet through her pants while she was grinding on you. Like, if that's the case, well, I don't know.
Yeah. So
he was really easy to spot. It totally overpowered blood. But he said he was also, maybe he wasn't even close to where Hayden was at.
He did also say, no matter, I really like this line that he said, no matter how small the scent or trace of her, he would always find her.
Yes.
Swoon. My God.
Yeah. Kicking my feet over here.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Kingfisher. I was like, you tell her.
Yeah, that was a really good line. Which makes me think that maybe possibly something's going to happen to her later. Or like she gets kidnapped or something by the queen or by the king, and he's going to come looking for her and he's going to find her. Which,
yeah, he's going to come full guns blazing.
What's the name of
the I call her Nimmerelli, but I think it's Nimmerel.
I say Nimmerel.
I say Nimmerelli.
At the ready.
Yeah, he's
obviously never held a sword.
Why are you doing it with your left hand?
I don't know. Just felt right.
Maybe you're a left-handed sword wielder.
Maybe. Anyways. That was a really attractive line.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much they go out together. They're at, like, this huge... Oh, before they go to the forge, they're going downstairs. And they meet little Archer. I like Archer so much. Like...
Archer is a...
Fire sprite. Yeah. And
fire sprites are he said that fire sprites are, like, known to be dramatic and over the top with their emotions and reactions.
Yeah, he was just like, I was like, do you see him right now? Like, can you see him? She's like, yeah, I see him. He's like, oh my God, he's really here. Like, freaking out, like seeing Santa for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it breaks the whole teapot. Kingfisher, a whole new side to him.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he's so sweet and just...
He had, like, genuine laughter.
Yeah. And he was like, bro, it's fine. Like, here, I'll clean this up. He's like, you should not be cleaning my messes. I should be cleaning up yours. Like, please do not do this. Yeah, and then, so I met Archer. And then Carrion does whatever Carrion does. And they go out to, like, a forge. He's telling her, like, showing her some things. He's like, here's a whole trunk with some rings, and you're gonna need to do all of these. And she's looking at this trunk. He's like, there's like 8 more over there. And she's like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, so she has to make relics out of all these rings, and they have like a special memory or sentimental attachment to all the soldiers.
Yeah.
And she has to somehow turn them into relics using the Quicksilver.
So they can travel through the Quicksilver pools without going crazy like Kingfisher does. Well, can.
Yeah, so he leaves her in this forge, which is actually not in the building. It's like
it's like
a magical
magic
doorway.
Yeah, they were inside the entire time, but then somehow walking through a doorway, they're like outside at the forge now. So totally a magical. You want to take a picture from Nocha? I gotcha.
So they walk out of this. Is it like a castle or like just like a mansion?
In my head, it is like a mansion, but also like homely. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's not a cottage.
Yeah.
It's bigger than a cottage, but it's cottage-esque.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they walk through the doorway. They're all of a sudden technically in the forest. In the forge.
Yeah, forge.
And he's like, you have to get to work, basically.
Gotta work.
And they get into an argument about something, and he storms off, and he just, like, leaves her there to experiment somehow how to make these relics. And she's like, well, he didn't even leave me any freaking Quicksilver. So she, like, uses her metal, like, power?
Something in my head is like metal bending.
And she feels a teeny tiny
it's like
speck of Quicksilver.
Over here. It's like
like
Horton Hears a Who.
It's like, hey.
Mm-hmm.
So she follows it and she finds like the tiniest bead of Quicksilver, and she's like, how am I supposed to forge all of these rings with this much Quicksilver? And so she like takes some scrap metal to use so that she can practice like making a formula with that first, so that she doesn't accidentally damage anyone's personal effect.
Yeah,
and
I'd kill her. I'd kill her if she if she ruined my like possibly one chance to like go through these portals. Yeah, I'd kill her.
Yeah. So, she does like 4 attempts, but she's never like really used her powers before, other than like just messing around.
Yeah, there's just like a whole bunch of little oddball ingredients like on the table, like a little splash of this, let me throw some of that. She's like potion making.
Yeah.
Metal.
And once she does it, she has to like take whatever's left of the metal, melt it down again, make another shape before she can put it back into the Quicksilver.
Yeah, she had that fight with Kingfisher. She was like, I need more silver. I'm gonna lose a whole day pretty much having to refine the silver that I used previously, so now I'm wasting a day. Yeah, and he's just like, I don't give a shit. Whatever it takes, you figure it out.
Yeah, so she didn't get much done the first day. She was only able to do 4 trials before she was like wiped. Nothing left in her.
Yeah.
So then she goes and she gets ready for, she goes to wash up, but she meets Ren in the hallway, and he's like, oh, by the way, you have to have dinner with Kingfisher. She's like, is that so? I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to at all. I'm mad at him.
Yeah. And he was like, come on, please. Like, just do it. And she was like, fine, but you have to go too. And he was like, no, I can't. He's going to be so mad. I was like, and she's like, well, you know he's going to be mean to me. And he's way worse when you're not there. So you either go and make me comfortable or neither of us are going. And he was like, you twist my arm.
Well, she ends up going by herself the first time. Ren isn't there. The first time they have dinner. They have dinner twice. Yeah, the first time they have dinner and they're like opposite ends of the table. There's a whole flower arrangement in between them. She's like, how is this having dinner if I can't even see him? I'm glad I can't see him, but like, how is this even like dinner? So she just takes her happy little ass and she comes and sits right next to him.
She was also upset because he kept bending his voice.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can feel him whispering in my ear.
Whisper in my ear, bro.
I know. And so she moves down to the seat next to him on his right. Mm-hmm. And apparently, this has some meaning. We don't know what it means yet, but I feel like it was probably his mom's chair. Like the queen's seat.
The right chair?
Not the queen, but like chair right on the right side of the head of the table.
Maybe. Why do you think that?
Because the way that, what's his name?
Archer?
Yeah, the way that Archer reacted whenever he saw her there.
Yeah. I was just thinking he reacted that way just because,
and when all the other ones came in, he's trying to lay down. When all the other ones came down, they dropped the plates of food and they were like really flustered that she was sitting there. So
yeah, so it definitely could be his.
I feel like there's something
chair.
important about that chair. And even later, in the second dinner, when Ren looked at her weird because she sat there. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it really holds some importance. I don't know if it's his mom. I feel like it's probably his mom. And it also hints to Ren that Kingfisher got the feels.
Or he just knows she's not going to allow him to talk to her. Yeah, definitely has the feels. But,
he's got the feels.
Yeah, so they have, like, this first dinner. Things are going great, you know, with their relationship.
Boom.
That's in the forge.
No.
Are you sure it's during dinner?
Mm-hmm.
What happens in the forge? Oh, nothing happens in the forge. Okay, yeah, you can go.
Then boom, the windows explode. 3 creatures jump through. 4? Yeah. 4 creatures jump through. And they're hungry.
These things are sick.
They sound so gross.
They sound so, yeah.
You go ahead and describe them.
I don't really know what they look like. I just know they got, like, yellow teeth, really, like, sunken bodies. Their clothes are all tattered and not doing well. And
glazed over eyes.
Yeah, they're just mindless. Like, they have nothing behind their eyes.
Yeah,
they're just...
no conscious thoughts.
They're just set to kill. Like, by whatever means necessary. So, like, they get attacked, and Kingfisher is able to take down 2 of them, and 2 of them are coming to her. There's, like, a woman, and, like, she explained it like a boy, like a child, like a boy.
Yeah. She stabs him up a little bit, but...
Yeah, she ends up stabbing the girl, in the shoulder, I think, but she also, I think, cuts her in another place, and...
Yeah, across her chest.
Yeah, and they're, like, wailing, bellowing, making these god-awful noises, and then the boy is not distracted anymore, and he comes over to her as well, and Kingfisher is able to finish them off, but
not before she rakes her fingers.
Yeah, she gets
his legs
scratched by.
Okay.
She gets scratched by one of them, and he is very like concerned. He's just like scoops her. She's just like. Yeah. Like going unconscious kind of, and
he's like, the poison, it's in your system.
Yeah, so he's like running with her. She's like just all unconscious kind of, and yeah, she just blacks out.
And she wakes up later in his bed. He's like, I just had to put you in the first.
Yeah, it was the closest. Nearby. It was the closest
Total
nearby.
Excuse.
You just want her in her bed, like.
And so he's like, you have poison in your system. And then he uses their blood oath to command her to stay in the bed until every ounce of poison is out of her blood. So,
because he's going to be gone for a week.
Yeah, and he says to her, you're not allowed to leave the bed unless you're going to the bathroom, and then you're coming right back to bed. You're not allowed to get up and walk down the hallway. You're not allowed to get up at all.
Yeah,
so
right now she's thinking like, yeah, okay, like, fuck you.
Yeah, so she gets up to like storm after him, and she's like, oh my god, I'm paralyzed. She's like,
I'm paralyzed. I can't get up.
My legs won't work again.
Scare the crap out of me. I already have some leg issues. No.
She took a deep breath. She was like, okay, let's try moving a foot. And she was able to move her feet, and then she was like really happy about it, and she was like, oh, wait.
He just blood oathed me.
Yep.
Commanded me to stay in this bed.
So she was in that bed.
I think that's really funny though, because she's just surrounded by his scent. She's just like, all I can smell is this guy, and he's gone.
He's like not going away. So I feel like he might have.
He probably magicked the scent.
Yeah, magicked his scent to stay behind, so that she would always be thinking about him. Mm-hmm. So of course she's getting angry and angrier as the time goes on, because she's not allowed to get up. She starts to feel like fine, but even with one teeny drop of venom,
like that healer lady,
blood,
she was like, "Oh, like 24 hours, like you can get up." She's like, "I'm totally fine." He's like, so she's like, "Yeah, 24 hours, just a little bit's in there."
Yeah, she's like, "You're reading up the blood oath. You can't get up yet."
Yeah.
So she's in that bed for 5
So even that
days.
healer knows about the blood oath.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Ren just has a big mouth?
Well, I feel like maybe she told her.
Maybe.
Yeah, so she was in that bed for 5 days.
I think it was 2 weeks.
Was it?
Yeah, because she was pissed when he came back, because he was gone for an extra week, and she was even more pissed. Well, yeah, I think she was in there for 5 days. You're right. She wasn't in bed the whole time. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I was thinking about that. He was gone for an extra week. She was pissed off about that.
And she's finally able to get up.
It's so like, easy to work up.
I know.
I mean, like, me too, but...
It's like the last however many hours that she has left, and Carrie brings her breakfast. And she's like, God, I can't leave, and now he's here. And she starts eating a little bit, and he's talking. He was like, let's have revenge sex on his bed.
Yeah, on his bed.
And she was like, boy, shut up. He was like, is it no to doing it at all, or just doing it in his bed?
She's like, that was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen again.
Yeah. And
one and done.
So then he's like, oh, by the way, when you finish this tray, apparently you can leave the bed. And she's like, why didn't you come in here saying that?
Enter with that. Be like, Saris, finish your food and then you can go. Like, that also would annoy me. I mean, he was like trying to like eat some food too, but he could just be hungry.
He definitely was just trying to steal a moment.
Yeah, that's true too. And he ended up getting boots.
Yeah.
She was like,
oh, she found out what Kingfisher did to Carrion. Well, not directly, but Kingfisher gave Carrion the boots, and in return, Carrion had to take a bath, but not just any bath. He had
a Fae bath.
Yeah, he had to have a Fae bath, which means they used this special moss sponge to scrub his entire body raw, and they paid special attention to where Saris's pheromones are coming off of. And
totally on purpose.
Yeah. He's
like, get my woman's scent off your body. She's not my woman.
Oh, yeah.
But she's my woman. Yeah. Get her scent off of you.
I really enjoyed that.
Or I will... He's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Like, that needed to happen.
Yeah.
Carrion has no idea that this is the reason.
Carrion is stupid, and he doesn't understand that. And he's just like, me and some water nymphs? Sure. So, because there's paying special attention, he takes advantage of the situation. Not advantage.
Yeah.
But he takes advantage of the situation and decides to have a foursome with 3 water nymphs.
But I don't think they actually had sex. I think she said, you're over here having a foursome. I don't think they had sex.
Well, he implied that they paid special attention, and he also did some touching of his own. They might not have made a home run, but there was definitely some touching.
Yeah, I don't know. Boys are dumb.
Yeah.
You're asking her to have sex with you in this dude's bed, and then you're going to turn around and talk about you getting your rocks off, pretty much, with these 4 water nymphs.
Yep.
Water fairies.
Yep. So, she's kind of like, why would Kingfisher do that? And it doesn't really make sense because she's also stupid. He loves you.
He was literally getting all of your scent off of this man's body.
Yeah. He doesn't want any other man to smell like her, which is so cute.
Yeah. Very.
So.
Oh, I love Kingfisher, man.
Me too.
Dead ass, he might be like #1 book boyfriend.
Oh.
I'm not even done with the book.
I really like him.
Yeah. It's the banter.
It really is.
The cockiness.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah. There's just something about whenever a book character like does something without the main character's like knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That just, yeah, it's good. So she's thinking about it and she's like, what could that mean? Why would he do that? Because she's also stupid.
Yeah.
And Carrion talks about how he's been like training with the guards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he's so muddy and gross. And
yeah, well, he had like the muddy boots. He's like, here, just wash this. He like wipes his boot and it just magically disappears. He's like, this is great. And
I wish like, if I had sheets that magically cleaned themselves, that would be so nice.
I don't mind cleaning, but
I hate cleaning.
Some things would be nice. I just want food to appear.
I want dishes to be done. That would be my #1. Dishes. I hate dishes.
I don't care. Just give me food. I'll do the dishes.
If I had a dishwasher, it'd be different. But I don't.
So just magic in general.
She's kind of jealous because she also wants to train with a sword because she does have experience and she likes doing it. Mm-hmm. And she gets back to work trying to make experiments, concoctions to get some relics. Mm-hmm. They don't work. She leaves, then she runs into Ren. They've come back from...
Ren is climbing over the wall and she's scared.
Right.
She's like, what the fuck are you
doing? She thought it was one of those creatures again. What are they called?
Feeders.
Yeah, she thought it was a feeder. She was like, I only have this dainty little dagger. How am I supposed to protect myself? And it was just
Ren.
Yeah.
Just being a boy.
She's like, you're scaring me.
He's like, this was a shortcut.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here.
But I mean, like, could you imagine just be like walking a long way and be like, oh, I have so much further to go, and then you're like, wait a second, I got a magic door out here.
I think I climbed a wall.
I know, but magic door, climb a wall, walk along the way. I'd climb a wall.
And if there's a ladder, I'd climb the wall. I'm not freehanding this wall.
Nah.
Give me a rope. You're not climbing a wall.
I've climbed walls before.
When?
I don't remember last time.
Okay, exactly. And I don't think this wall is like a wall. I think it's like taller than your fucking ceiling wall. That's what I'm thinking. You want to keep shit out. I'm thinking it's like 12, 15 foot drop. They're also probably like 8 feet tall. 7 whatever feet tall. Like they're big. So I feel like it's a 15-foot wall.
Maybe. Anyways, he says that Kingfisher requests her presence.
Yeah,
and she said, request.
Kingfisher's back. Dinner round 2, no feeders, hopefully.
Yeah. So then she says, you have to come, and he agrees. Mm-hmm. And she goes to get ready. She like bathes, cleans.
A nice dress laid out for you, and you wear pants and a shirt. I get it, but
she described it as a sheer, no-cut dress. Mm-hmm. And Carrion's there, and she's like, "You're coming to dinner.
Yeah,
get up, let's go."
We're having dinner together."
And he's talking about
like,
how
I wasn't invited.
Yeah, he's talking about how disappointed he is that she didn't wear the dress because he was like, the opportunity to see your breasts and butt. And he's saying that as they're walking into the dining room, and of course Kingfisher growls at him, which is so funny.
Possessiveness. You don't even possess this girl.
Yeah.
This part.
Yeah.
I enjoyed.
They all sit down to dinner. She, of course, doesn't sit at her seat. She sits at his right. And Ren gives Kingfisher a look like, oh, well, she can come sit on this left chair because I don't mind moving. And Kingfisher's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, she's fine where she's at.
And it kind of shocked Ren. He's like, really? She can sit here? It's fine? And he still moved closer to Carrion at the other end of the table. And they're talking
like
about...
side by side. I feel like it's like Kingfisher, Ceres, Ren, and Carrion. I feel like they're really close.
Right, yeah. The table is also smaller this time. So, the boys are talking about war strategies, fighting strategies, movements, maneuvers, the differences between the Fae and Madra's army. Mm-hmm. And Kingfisher starts talking to her. Do you want to?
No, you can do it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna relive. So,
they kind of start talking, and he's like, what progress have you made? And she's like, it's impossible to make any progress in this place. And
before that, we also found out why there's not, like, silver around, because they need the silver to kill the feeders.
Well, she said it's impossible because there's not enough silver.
Yeah.
And she asked for more, and he was like, well, sorry, I can't. And she said, well, gold is more expensive. Sell gold, get silver. And he said, doesn't really work like that here. It's the opposite. Mm-hmm. Gold is cheaper than silver, and we need the silver to keep out the feeders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like Santa's Roth or something like that. Foot soldiers. Like, is that what they're fighting in this war? You're fucked. Just go home.
That's what he implied.
Was it like Santa's Roth?
I don't know.
Sanzaroth? Is it Santa's Roth or Sanzaroth? Something like that.
Yeah, and then I don't remember how it started because I read this a while ago. I don't remember exactly how it started.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, they just started having their little banter moments. And, he says something about either her health or he tells her to eat. And she's like, no, like, are you going to use this, like, oath on me? He was like, the only times I've used the oath on you is because, like, your life was in danger. Like, you needed to have this thing. The bed, her life is not, I guess, her life isn't in danger, but, like, okay, there's poison in you, but, yeah, so he pretty much, like, blood oaths her to eat, and then she just gets annoyed by it, and she's like, can you just, like, stop? And then they have their little banter moments, and you can say
So he says, I could really treat you the way that the blood oath has been used before and force you to get on your knees.
Yeah, he said, open your legs and get on your knees, like those things.
Yeah, he said, I could, do all these things to you.
Blood oath you to S and F me.
Yep. And
a voluntary tribute.
Yep. And he kind of accurately, graphically describes what he would do with this. What he could do with this bond. She's getting hot and bothered by it, and Ren is choking on his drink because he's overhearing it with his
he has like a little bit of like a reaction. He's like, we'll just continue on with this conversation, and then like the second time he was like, Kingfisher was like, you want me to spread you and explore your I hate explore your folds, but it's like getting more graphic about it, and then this is when Ren like really loses his drink, and he's just like, so of course she's like all red and embarrassed and stuff,
and then she's even more embarrassed because she realizes that not only is his hearing good, his sense of smell is good.
Yeah, so he can literally smell that
she's responding
very well to these words.
So then she starts to get embarrassed, and because she's embarrassed, she starts to like lash out, and she's like, just shut up. Shut up. Stop talking.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, of course, because why would he? He's Kingfisher. And eventually, it kind of like fizzles out.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, she finds out that she's going to the fucking battlefront.
Yeah. And he was like, you got some stuff to learn, girly. And, well, she asked to train.
Yeah.
Because she said she knows how to fight with a sword. And basically he's like, show me what you got. Prove yourself. We're going to the battlefield. And
that was it.
Yeah, that was the end of 19. And I accidentally read 2 pages of chapter 20, so they're on the battlefield. Next. I think the next 100 pages are probably going to be battlefield.
It's more than 5 chapters.
I still think it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying. Like, this one was we only read 5 chapters, but. Yeah, so I'm definitely. I saw just a smidge of a spoiler on TikTok. I'm not. Just a smidge of a spoiler. It's not really like a spoiler. Like, nothing about the story. Obviously, they're gonna do something, but there was this guy, and he was just like, he said, I'm 100% straight. I'm very straight. I read all these books. He's like, but for this man, he's like, I might be fake curious. And I was like, yeah, he explained. He didn't explain what they did. Obviously, they're gonna, like, obviously, have sex, but apparently it's magical. And he was just like, I could be fake curious. For this man right here, Kingfisher? Yeah.
I just seen him using his smoky magic.
Just blind my senses. Just let me wait and see what's gonna happen. Sheesh. Yeah, I read quite a few books, and I had a little bit of an order, but Kingfisher just hopped right to number 1. Yeah, so we'll read the next 100 or so pages. Hopefully, it's a bit more fast-paced. It's a bit boring for me. Only a few parts where, I read a little bit faster in the chapters. One of the chapters for me was like 30 pages long. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I think it was like chapter 19. It was like 30 pages long. What's the reason? There's none. I answered for you. Yeah, so hopefully we have less of that.
We don't.
Not all of them are 30, but yeah, so we'll come back with another video explaining, again, breaking down these chapters. Hopefully it's more exciting than it was for me this time. I'm interested to see more freezers or other creatures. Let's see if she can, in my head, up here, she's on this battlefield, and then she can just, like, and their swords are just, like, liquid. That's what, in my head, because that's what it seems like she does with the Quicksilver. I mean, I know their swords, like, aren't Quicksilver, but she gets reactions from other metals, too. I mean, shaking is different than, like, melting them, but, yeah, this is what I see in my head. I can just see her, like, shooting. She's going to hit someone, they're going to hit her, and she's liquid. Yeah. I don't really have any predictions about anything.
I don't really have many predictions. I think she's going to get herself into some trouble, and Kingfisher's going to have to, like, come help her out. I think maybe there's going to be a situation with Carrion, like, maybe he's like, why do you like Kingfisher? And you don't like me? Like, he's such an asshole. I've always been kind to you.
Do we think they're going to go back to Zilvarin?
I think not in these next pages. I think maybe in the next one. Because the king's obviously going to come looking for her. He has the sword. Yeah, he has her. It's the 2 things that he needs.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Leave a like. Obviously, if you're liking this. Comment if you want. No one has. I would like to read them, but no pressure. Yeah, we'll come back with next 100 or so pages. Probably this week. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Maybe Saturday after.
I'm gonna definitely have it finished before then.
Oh, I don't know if I will. Maybe. Anyway, we'll try to have one coming out this week. I think that's it. Anything? Nope. Goodbye. Say bye.